Hello everyone, my name is Vaishnavi Mahadev Vallekar. Today is a technical topic, so we are discussing on to the vital signs. Vital signs are the physiological indicators which helps to assess the patient's health or the person's health or to detect the medical issues. The vital signs are the key components to assess the person's health. The vital signs is used to determine the essential functions of the body of the patients. Then the vital signs are plays important roles to detect the any medical conditions. There are different vital signs. The vital signs are varies from the person to persons depending upon the age, gender, weight and the other medical conditions. Then there are several types of the vital signs like body temperature, blood pressures, pulse rate, respiration rate, then blood glucose level, weight and the oxygen saturations. First, body temperature. The body temperature are those temperature, the body temperature, it is a amount of the heat present onto the body, or the body temperature, it is a degree of the heat present onto the human's body. The normal temperature of the body is 90 degree Fahrenheit to 99 degree Fahrenheit. If the body temperature is rises more than the 99 degree Fahrenheit, then it is refers to the fevers. Then the body temperatures can be measured by using the thermometers. The body temperature, the normal body temperature is varies from the persons to the persons. Like infants and the adults have the different body temperatures. Then the body temperature can be taken by using the several ways like oral, second is rectal, rectal, forehead and the ears. The body temperatures of the infants and the children's can be taken through the forehead or to the orals. Then the body temperature, it is a important the body temperature, it is a important vital signs to determine the patient's health. Then the pulse examination, it is the most important vital signs closely monitors by the physicians. Then the pulse rate, the normal pulse rate, the pulse rate, it is the most important vital signs. Then the pulse rate pulse rate refers to the number of beats per minute. The average pulse rate is 60 to 100 beats per minute. The pulse rate is used to determine the cardiovascular systems. Activity of the cardiovascular systems. Then the pulse rate is referred by the two terms, like it is tachycardia and the bradycardia. First one, the tachycardia means the high heartbeats. Bradycardia means the low heart rate. Then the heart rate is important to determine the cardiovascular functions. Then the blood pressure, it is a blood pressure, it is another vital signs is used to determine the patient's health. The blood pressure is used to determine the severity of the illness. The blood pressure refers to the force exerted by the bloods against the artery and against the walls of the arteries and to the veins. Then the blood pressure can be expressed into the two values, into systolic pressure and the diastolic pressures. The systolic pressure and the diastolic pressure. The normal range of the blood pressure is 120 to 80 mmHg, in which 120 it is the systolic pressures and the 80 mmHg it is a diastolic pressure. The blood pressure is the higher blood pressure is known as the hypotension. The lower blood pressure is known as the hypertension, and the high is known as the hypotension. Then next is the oxygen saturation. Oxygen saturation is the most important. Oxygen saturation, it is the most important vital signs to determine the patient's health or the functions of the body parts, or to detect the medical issues. Then the oxygen saturation is done to detect the how much amount of oxygen is present into the human's body. The amount of the oxygen is varies from the persons to persons. depending on to their age, weight, etc. Then the normal range of the oxygen saturation, it is 95% to the 99%. Then the oxygen saturation refers to the number of oxygen molecules binds to the how much number of hemoglobin molecules are known as oxygen saturations. And then blood glucose levels. The blood glucose level is also known as the blood sugars. Then the blood glucose levels means the amount of the sugars present into the blood streams. It is used to determine the patient's health or the essential functions of the patient's health. Then the weight is also the most important vital signs to determine the patient's health or to detect any illness. Then the overweight leads to the overweight or the obesity leads to the cardiovascular diseases or to the diabetes, as well as the underweight leads to the anemia, tiredness, dizziness, continuous illness, etc. So it is also most important vital signs to determine the patient's health. Thank you.